Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. I was reading through some of my more recent comments and one of the comments I don't want to say that it set me off, but it got my attention and kind of inspired this minor little rant. I was showing one of my old small head bills that I had gotten from a bank teller, and I was talking about the value of that particular note. And this person came across, I can get those for free from my local bank. Well, no, you can't get them for free. You can get them for face value from your local bank if your local bank happens to have them. Most of the time, though, they're not. They're tough to find. Now, if you're like me and have a lot of different banks and a lot of different branches you can go to, I can probably go out today and find one, but that doesn't mean the condition is going to be there. And if the condition's not there, then they're right. Then there is no additional value. But if it's in good condition, well, that changes things. When you start to get notes that are in really good shape, those values can start to go up. And, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so I've got my 1,000 singles. These are some of the last of my Vegas notes. I only got about 2,200 when I was in Vegas because I had gotten sick while I was out there. So this week is notes from Bellagio and Aria, and then the rest of the notes came from local banks here in town. Now, with Bellagio and Aria, those are both higher-end casinos, so when it came to fines, I just automatically assumed that the higher class places order singles and use them as change, whereas the lower limit casinos tend to get singles from their patrons. So what's the difference, you may ask? A lot of people find that statement kind of interesting. Well, if a person doesn't have a lot of money, they do tend to save singles and spend singles all at once. What they don't do is they do not hold on to them. So what happens is they may run across a star note, they may run across a fancy serial number, and either don't recognize the additional value or just can't afford to be hoarding notes and they spend it as money. That's why I like the lesser casinos more so than I like the higher end casinos, and that's true with banks as well. If you walk into your bank and they have marbled pillars out front, that's a bank that is a higher class bank. They're going to be ordering singles to give out as change. Whereas if you go to a credit union, then you're going to have wait staff depositing singles in mass quantities, and that's usually how I get mine. That's why some of you guys say I have such a honey hole. Anyway, Bellagio, Aria, and a bunch of local stuff. Let's take a peek at what I found, and let's see here. First one, January 18th, 2021, my lucky dollar, Walmart. Okay, well, this one did not come from Vegas, but there it is. This is my lucky dollar, and they spent it at Walmart. Why would you spend your lucky dollar at Walmart? I don't understand, but that kind of illustrates the point. No, this isn't, I'm not saving this for anything, but it was just neat seeing that little phrasing on there because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Found a Where's George? Where's George? This, of course, was local. And this one hurts. Look at this. This Where's George note, they put it on a 1985 $1 note. Ouch. Where's George wasn't around in 1985. So for someone to put a stamp on a bill this old, that was actually in pretty good shape. That kind of hurts. Lucky for me, it was a G, and I've got plenty of those. G is Chicago. Next up, I found a high number. This is a real high number, 9599 and then 1533. You have to remember these notes only go up to 9600. So this note is about 8,000 from the end. So that's a pretty high number. I tend to save those. I don't think they're worth anything more, at least not when they're there. If they had within 100 away from there, that would be worth something. I found an alternator. This one has 0 as the alternator, so you actually have 30105060. That's kind of neat. I found a birthday note. This is 1971, and this would be either September 8th or August 10th. So that's pretty good. Sorry, I shouldn't say October 8th or August 10th, 1971. Another birthday note from 1993. This would be March 17th. And then we've got a trinary, 1s, 7s, and 8s. This one's 2s, 3s, and 5s. Some of you will call that bookends. I guess so, 5, 5 there, 5, 5 there, but there's nothing exciting in the middle, so no real need to save that. And once again, with bookends, if you're looking at the 5, 5 portion, you can have any 2 digits here, okay? And any 2 digits is going to be 1 out of 100, okay? So to match those digits would be 1 out of 100. So that means out of every strap, you'll find one note that's bookends. That's why there's no additional value there. This is quads, quad 1s, another quad 1s, quad 7s, quad 9s on this one, a little older, pretty rough shape on that one. This one also has quad 9s. And this one actually has 5 9s in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's a trinary. 7s, 8s, and 9s. That one's in good shape, so that's pretty cool. Did find some stars. Let's see, just checking to make sure the stars aren't filled in. 2017A. Another 2017A starts with a 0, so maybe. 2017. 2013. And some of the older notes, 2001. This one's another 2001, pretty rough shape on that one. The oldest note I found, well, second oldest note, because the one that's the Warriors George was the oldest note. This one's a 1988A. And of course, you're checking to see if it's a web note, and it's not. A web note is only going to have the plate number here. It's not going to have the letter. It's also not going to have the position. This is B4 for the position right over here. So that would just be blank. But this one's also cool because it is a Y note. And I know I don't talk about this often enough, but when they make the serial number, they have the G, which matches the Federal Reserve. Then they have all the numbers. And once they use all the numbers, once this goes to 960000, they start with A. And once they roll it, that A goes to B. And then from B to C. This ends in a Y. They've never made it to Z on Federal Reserve notes, but they have only made it to Y just a handful of times. I'm not saying that the Y is worth anymore, but it is something that you don't see very often. Maybe in the future there'll be more of a demand for the Y notes. A lot of people like to keep the X notes as well because you just don't see those either. But yeah, this does happen to be one of those Y notes. I'm going to save it, not necessarily because it's a Y, but because it's a 1988A. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And, oh wait, I did find one other note. Normally I put these on the back, but I didn't want to let anything slide. Anytime you see me put a note in a case, you know it's worth something. Check this one out. I found a radar, 44600644. That is a radar, reads the same forward and back. If you want to call it bookends, you can call it bookends, but it's not really bookends because the entire thing is bookended. But yes, you do a 44 and you do a 44 if you want it bookends. But no, we're talking a radar. A palindrome reads the same forward and back. You have 4s and 4s and 6s and 0s. Yeah, these are collectible. These you can get some money for. I don't find them very often at all. When I do, I am quite proud of the fact. All right, so what did I bring out this week? Well, as I was touching on in my intro, some people don't quite understand that small head notes have value. I brought out my 1981A $100 Federal Reserve note. Now, let's take a quick peek at this note. This is a small head note. You can see it is from 1981A. Look at the serial number. Nothing fancy about it. 021263321. So yeah, it's you can put that on, coolserialnumbers.com or whatever. There's nothing special about it. This is just a 1981A $100 bill, and it's in really nice shape. In fact, somebody had this one graded. It was graded a 65. So this is truly an uncirculated, gem uncirculated $100 bill. Now, when you go to the bank, odds are you're not going to find one of these. But if you do, then it gets to be a little bit interesting. I always like the backs of these. I think what I like the most about the backs is how it goes from dark to light on all these. I think that is what draws my eye in. I just really like the back of the old $100 notes like that. Anyway, this particular one, if we look over here, this is from St. Louis. And yeah, this is obviously in nice shape. This is a 65. So what is it worth? That's the question. So let's take a quick peek here. I got the book. What does it say for a 1981, which is not old by any stretch of the imagination? Here we go. Series of 1981A, mine is the H, so it's the St. Louis. They only made 12,800,000 of those. And it says 175. However, if I look here, that's for choice uncirculated 63. Yes. So in a 63, my note is 175. In a 63. Well, my note isn't a 63. My note is a 65. Now, to know the difference between a 63 and a 65, that is starting to get very, very nitpicky. The point I'm making is that an uncirculated $100 bill in the book is $175. So for people who think that these don't hold any additional value, you would be wrong. So if you can score one of these from your bank at face value, congratulations. That is a find. All right, guys, if you learned anything new this week, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next week.